I sampled hundreds of fragrances this year. Let's talk about the 10 best and the 10 worst of 2025. And a reminder, fragrance is subjective, so if you disagree with me, it is what it is. We'll start with the 10 misses of the year, and I'm gonna kind of buzz through these quickly in no order because I don't really want to dwell on, just dunking all over some of these fragrances, but it is something that people are interested in, so I wanted to talk about it. I'll start right off the bat with a fan favorite, Ingenious Ginger by Goldfield and Banks. To me, this just dries down to vanilla. It's not a bad fragrance, I just think it's kind of a boring fragrance. To me, when it dries down, it becomes almost just completely vanilla. I start to really lose a lot of the ginger. The ginger's there in the opening, but you kind of lose it, and to me, there's just so many better ginger fragrances out there. Something like La Mentité to me is way more up my alley, so I was a little disappointed with this one. At the number 9 spot, we'll go Parfums de Marly Greenly. Now listen, Parfums de Marly is one of my favorite niche brands ever. Like, I love Parfums de Marly, but to me, this was just such a weak offering for them. Like, of course, it's great quality of ingredients and whatnot. It's not an offensive smell. It's not a bad smell, so to speak. But to me, it's just so generic and boring. And it's kind of on the same beaten path of this new Extrait line, like just incredibly safe. And to me, that is just not the strengths of Parfums de Marly. They do so many fragrances that are just so dynamic. So, when they turn around and do something simple like Greenly, I don't know. To me, it's just... you can keep that one. At the number 8 spot, we're going Prada Luna Rossa Ocean. Now, when I smelled this fragrance in store, I thought it was phenomenal. When you smell it off the tester strip, you're like, oh my god, that is just as inoffensive as it gets. It's beautiful, it's oceanic, it's like blue shower gel. It smells fantastic. But to me, when you wear it on skin, after about 10 minutes, it just turns into just straight iris. Admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of iris, so it was no surprise to me that after about the 5 to 10 minute mark, I was no longer a fan of this fragrance. And then it's almost completely gone after about 4 hours for me, so that was a big disappointment. At the number 7 spot, we're gonna go Hawas. I'll do 2 of them. The original Hawas, OG Hawas for men, and Hawas Kobra. Kobra, I have talked a lot about on this channel. To me, it is just, the opening was just sharp, screechy, citrusy. It took about 3 hours for some of that sharpness to dry down to where it became a pleasant green tea fragrance, but to me, I'm not really willing to wait 3 hours to get to the pleasant part of the fragrance. In the OG Hawas, it's a great bubblegum scent, but they just threw this earthy, stinky patchouli in there, and to me, it just kind of threw off the entire scent profile of the fragrance. It actually reminds me a lot of Jimmy Choo. Man, you've got this great, beautiful, aquatic, sweet fragrance, mass appealing, and then you just decide to throw this earthy patchouli in there. I just don't get it. Maybe it's me. Honestly, I'm open to that. Number 6, we're going with the Blue Day Cartel Lay Exclusive. You already know which one. You already know what I think about this fragrance. It's just way too overpriced, and to me, it's just nothing really exciting about this fragrance. For $270 to get a release that's really just not that exciting to me is just such a bummer, and I'm so glad I did not decide to buy that bottle. Look, if we're gonna be ragging on fragrances, you already knew this was gonna make the list. At the number 5 spot, this was kind of like a blind trade that I did. It was Lattafa's Art of Nature and Vintage Castle. I'm gonna just do a 2-for-1 because I got them both at the same time. Just wow, just straight ass. Not even gonna really go into it. Like, it was one smell and I'm like, oh well, those are getting listed for a trade. At the number 4 spot, we're gonna go with Khadlaj Island, and the only reason that this is on the list is because of just how much social media buzz there was about this fragrance, and obviously it was all PR, free bottles, etc. To me, the scent profile was a little bit muted. It was a little dull. There was really nothing exciting about it. To be fair, I'm really not a big coconut fan anyways, but I feel like there are plenty of other fragrances that do that scent profile in a very appealing, pleasing way, and that just was not it for me. Number 3, I'm gonna go with YSL Y Intense. This was one I was really excited to try out because I'm a huge fan of the YSL Y line, and man, just similar to the OG Hawas, similar to Jimmy Choo, man, they took this beautiful, fresh, citrus, mass appealing blue shower gel DNA, and they just smeared it with patchouli. Why would you do that? It's just like everything was perfect about this fragrance, and then they just decided to add just this stinky, earthy patchouli. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Maybe it's me. Again, maybe it's me. At the number 2 spot, we are going to go with Game of Spades Wildcard. I know this is another big favorite, and it's not the notes, and it's not what they were trying to do with the fragrance. To me, it's just something about the Game of Spades ingredients. Now, I don't know if I got like a bad batch when I got their sampler set, but to me, like, it's the only fragrance that I've truly felt the need to go to the bathroom and scrub off my skin. There's something in those ingredients that really just sticks out and just is horrendous to me. Like, I don't know, and there's not a lot of people that share this opinion. So, you know, I think it's possible that maybe I got a bad batch, something like that. You know, it may have happened. But yeah, man, all the Game of Spades, it's just not... I'm not into them. And at the number 1 spot, I saved this one for last, Mancera Red Tobacco. I could really dunk on this fragrance. To me, it actually is probably the worst fragrance I've ever smelled. If you're interested in this fragrance and you want to just save yourself some money, just go to the 7-Eleven and just get a pack of Newports and then sit in your car, roll all the windows up, and just smoke the entire pack of cigarettes with the windows up. And that you will smell just like this fragrance. It really smells like the inside of a wet ashtray. And I'm not even really against tobacco fragrances. Like, I like tobacco fragrances, but that one in particular, it's almost like they wanted it to smell bad on purpose. I don't really get any appeal to the fragrance at all. And I've talked to people that really love it. It's all subjective. It really is all subjective, but those were 10 fragrances from the year that I just couldn't get on with. Now, keep in mind, everyone's noses are different. Everyone likes different things, and people want different things out of their fragrances. So no judgment if you like a fragrance on that list. And, you know, I respect your opinion. You respect mine. I'm good with that. All right, now let's talk about the 10 best fragrances that I tried this year. At the number 10 spot, it's not even just a fragrance. I'm going to go with an entire clone brand. This is Citadel Perfumes. I've talked about them a lot. I've made full-length videos on Citadel Perfumes. To me, it is one of the best inspired by houses I've ever come across. I've got 4 of their bottles. I think I've got 2 more in the closet, and I probably got about 10 in the shopping cart online. Extremely accurate, loud, and long-lasting fragrances of top-notch quality. And honestly, this is the brand that I've discovered that's kind of made me feel like I don't really feel the urge to explore the Middle Eastern clone brands. I don't feel the need to look at Khadlaj and French Avenue and a lot of those other fragrance brands, because to me, like, Citadel really is that brand for me. It's really a brand that I endorse and really will spend my own hard-earned money on their product. I've got Tuxedo, I've got L'Immensité, I've got Tigar, and I've got Amouage Reflection Man. These are just 4 bangers, man. And to be completely honest with you, of recent, my signature scent has been the dupe of L'Immensité mixed with a little bit of Tigar over the top. To me, putting the 2 of these fragrances together is just absolutely phenomenal ginger grapefruit combo that I think is just gorgeous. And, you know, I'll air the room out with these. They are loud, they are long lasting. I swear by these. I'll put my reputation on the line for these fragrances. At the number 9 spot, we're gonna go Grey Vetiver by Tom Ford. As you can see, I've already got a huge dent in this fragrance. This to me it's truly one of the most beautiful, fresh, inoffensive smells that I've ever smelled in my entire life. It doesn't smell like a perfume to me. It doesn't smell like a fragrance. It smells like a beautiful, natural, organic compound. It smells like just beautiful grass. Grass isn't even the right word, because I feel like you'll think of like freshly cut grass. It's hard to really put my finger on it. It really, to me, is the textbook definition of fresh. Like, I absolutely love this stuff. It is so fresh. It is so mass appealing. And it is so inoffensive. You could blast yourself with 30 sprays of this if you want. You really could. You really, really could. At the number 8 spot, we're going Guerlain's L'Homme Ideal Extreme. Every time I smell this fragrance, like, my eyes roll in the back of my head. This stuff is so damn good. This to me is like an extremely spicy Dr. Pepper. So, you know, you look at the color of the juice, you see red, and just imagine a Dr. Pepper. Imagine sort of like a spicy cola, like imagine like a Mexican Coke or something like that, but you just take that spiciness and you crank it all the way to the max. There's some sharp, warm spiciness in here, some black pepper that really takes this fragrance and makes it a statement fragrance. If you're looking for something loud and you're looking for something that's gonna get people's attention, this is an attention-grabbing fragrance just simply because of how sharp and spicy it is. It really, I mean, the name Extreme, it's accurate. And especially after it dries down and a lot of that sharp spiciness starts to kind of smooth itself out, it just is so beautiful. Truly one of my favorites. Next, we're gonna go with Givenchy Gentleman Boisee. This is a fragrance that really took me by surprise. As I mentioned earlier, iris is not really my thing, but the iris in this fragrance to me is just a perfectly balanced woody iris, a little bit of chocolate, almost like a little bit of cocoa powder in there, just to kind of darken that iris up. Man, this stuff is beautiful. And honestly, for the name of the line, Gentleman, Givenchy, this is black tie, this is formal, this is evening, this is dinner wear. This is the fragrance I want to wear when I put on a suit. Whenever I'm doing something that is a little bit elevated, a little bit more classy, you want to feel like a gentleman, you want to feel put together, you want a little bit of sophistication in there, but you don't want something super loud and offensive. God, man, this stuff smacks. I love wearing this fragrance. And I say that as someone who's not an iris fan. Like, I don't own, I think this is the only iris fragrance that I have a full-size bottle of. And I absolutely love it. So if you're an iris hater, give that one a try. All right, at the number 5 spot, we're going Creed's Green Irish Tweed. This is one I've wanted to sample for a long time. And this year was the year that I finally decided to pull the trigger on the full-size bottle of Creed Green Irish Tweed. Man, beautiful green, grassy, Irish spring type of fragrance with some really fresh spiciness at the top. You know, the top notes, those first 10-15 minutes, you really do get a good dose of some spiciness as well, blended masterfully, literally blended to absolute perfection. This stuff smells like a gentleman, but a modest gentleman, not like, don't think of a finance bro, don't think of a guy in a suit, don't think of like a salesman. I just want you to think about the most respectable man you know. And honestly, that's a good way to put it. This fragrance smells like respect. It's masculine without the douchebaggery. This smells like respect. That's the best way I can put it. At the number 4 spot, we're going with Parfums de Marly Layton. This was one of the very first niche fragrances I ever sampled in my life. And it wasn't exactly love at first smell. Okay, at first I was like, wow, there's a lot going on there that's very complex. It's very dense. I kind of wasn't ready for what this fragrance was doing. But as time went on and I started to think more about it and come back to it more and more, you just realize how much of a fucking stunning fragrance this is. I mean, the best way for me to describe it, it's like this rich, hypnotic vanilla. You've got some apple, you've got some other fruits in there, but the fruits are jacked up to 1,000,000. Like, it shouldn't work. It doesn't smell like anything in nature. There's really nothing that I can compare it to. So when I think about what a niche fragrance is supposed to be, Layton is one of the very first fragrances that comes to mind because, like I said, it's niche in the sense like this doesn't smell like anything I think I've ever smelled before. And the fruity vanilla like doesn't even really give it the full justice. Like trying to explain Layton based on the notes and the scent profile alone, it's not the full picture. Just such an absolutely stunning, gorgeous fragrance. At the number 3 spot, this was a really pleasant surprise. This is Summer Mink by Better World Fragrance House associated with Drake. Summer Mink was able to take a certain type of scent profile, and I would just, YSL myself, Amouage Reflection, where you have like a floral vanilla, but then you hit it with some freshness as well. I think Summer Mink has done it better than so many other brands, better than other niche houses, better than designer houses. You've got this creamy, almost hand lotion-esque type of vanilla going on, mixed with just some beautiful orange blossom and some other citruses and florals. Not offensive in the slightest. It doesn't smell like a designer. It definitely smells like something that's closer to a niche fragrance in the way that, like I said, you just get that creamy hand lotion. It's not something that I think I really see a lot in the designer world. Personally, I'm going to put Summer Mink over Amouage Reflection and the entire YSL Myself line. That's just how I feel about it. At the 3 spot, we're going Loewe Cobalt 7. Quite literally, hands down the best blue fragrance I've ever smelled in my life. I'm willing to say that. You take your typical blue body wash DNA, you add a little bit of fruits and pineapple, you also add a little bit of sharpness, some black pepper in there as well, just some dashes, but you just crank up the vibrance, the personality on this fragrance. I think vibrance actually is the best way to put it. You add some additional fruits, you add a little bit of pineapple, so some people will tell you, oh, you add a little bit of Aventus pineapple. You get what I'm saying. You also add a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of, just a touch of some spiciness in there, and you really come away with just a blue fragrance that just has just a unique, but like I said, vibrant is the best word, personality. This to me, you can dress this up, you can wear this casually. This is one of the most blind buy safe fragrances ever. If you're looking for a blue fragrance, Loewe 7 Cobalt is my recommendation for you. This stuff is fantastic. All right, so we're down to the last 2, and I'd say right now these are my 2 favorite fragrances that I've ever smelled. So I honestly could do these in any order. It's really like a 1A, 1B. But at the 1B spot, I guess technically, we have Parfums de Marly Haltane. To me, this is Parfums de Marly at its absolute best. You've got just this incredibly dynamic fragrance that is dark and woody. There's oud in here as well, but you've also got just this incredible freshness with saffron and lavender that just give you this dark oud fragrance that is at the same time just fresh and mass appealing and just absolutely gorgeous. This stuff is an absolute powerhouse. When I wear this, I think I go nose blind to it, because to me, like, I can't really pick this up after the 6 hour mark. Here's the thing though, like at hour 5, like I'm still smelling it completely. Like it's still pumping strong, like working. But then around the 6-7 hour mark, like I start to completely lose it. And I think it really is just due to nose blindness. And I've asked other people if they can smell it on me, and they're like, yes, absolutely. I can smell it on you. Don't worry about it. So I think nose blindness is a thing with just the power of this fragrance. So, you know, when it comes to like what is a 10 fragrance, you know, it's got to perform well. It's got to smell fantastic. And I think you also want something that's a little bit unique in there as well. And there's a couple other fragrances that you can compare to Haltane, such as Oud for Greatness. But I actually think this is way more mass appealing, way more approachable, way more enjoyable, while still being a challenging scent. Like it's challenging, but at the same time it's approachable. It's dark, but at the same time it's super fresh. It's an absolute powerhouse, and I love smelling this every single time I wear it. It's hard for me to not reach for it every single day, honestly. Hands down, 10 out of 10. And I would say the same thing for the number 1 fragrance. This to me, I would say, is probably my go-to special occasion fragrance. It's not something that I hit as a daily driver by any means. This is Creed Royal Oud. God, I don't even really know where to start. I mean, I think if I had to describe the scent profile, it's like, you just imagine like freshly cut sawdust, but just done to absolute perfection. This stuff is just super masculine, woody, but still some freshness in there as well. It's not a super dark scent, and I get no oud at all from this fragrance. Honestly, I think you could have named this Royal Wood, and it would have been a way more accurate title. Like, to me, it's not an oud fragrance at all. Oud is in the name. It is what it is. Every time I put a suit on, it is hard for me to not spray this fragrance. Like, this is the fragrance that I wear when I want to feel my best, when I want to feel at the top of my game. Creed Royal Oud is what I reach for. There's quite a few other people out there that will tell you that this is their favorite fragrance of all time as well, and I totally get it. Like, this stuff is sensational, doesn't even cover it. And unlike a lot of other Creed fragrances, you get great performance out of Royal Oud. I think I get 7 to 8 hours at least from this fragrance. I'm still smelling it on myself at that 7-8 hour mark where I sprayed it on myself, you know, in the late afternoon. I went all night long, and I come home after a long night, and I'm still smelling it on myself. So very powerful scent, and absolutely worth every single penny, in my opinion. I have no regrets with that one. That, to me, that's my number 1. So that's my comprehensive list, the 10 best and the 10 worst, in my opinion, from 2025. Let me know down in the comment section below what were some of your favorite and least favorite fragrances that you tried this year. All right, guys, thanks so much. It's been a wonderful year. Hope to see you in the very next video. Peace.